stress, bet. Forget about all the drama and the comments they left. I rightly find the bottom line is right on top of they text. You gotta remember that our enemy is not of the flesh. You gotta remember that our imagery is made from the best. So pray for the best. Hands high, got the garter, caught the Hail Mary, Mary tossed the veil, moved to Fort Lauderdale. 19 to 91, that's the goal. 91 dash, that's the soul. Can't keep track of lies, that's they told. So extra in the background, that's they roll. But a lot of folks share their opinions. Same folks so easy.
What's up? It's just Shanola, and I'm coming back with another video. Today, we're gonna get into something different. We're gonna talk about people pleasing and why it doesn't pay to be a people pleaser, and 5 tips to help you stop. The reason why I chose to talk about this subject is because I once was a people pleaser. I found myself in certain situations that I didn't want to be in. I was seeking things in return when I used to do things for people, which set the relationship up to fail because I wasn't being real with them and I wasn't being real with myself. It is my hope that I can bring some awareness to people that are facing these things just like I did. Just a disclaimer, I am not a therapist. I went to therapy. These are things that help me out, and I'm hoping that if you come across this video, it will help you too. As a young girl, I felt rejected by the people that I trusted. This led me to feel the need to be liked or validated by someone. Once I got older, I recognized that I lacked the ability to manage my personal relationships. There will be times when a friend or a family member will ask me to do things that I was not okay with, and instead of saying no, or not today, I'm too tired or whatever, knowing that I didn't want to do these things, I would still say yes, all because I wanted to be liked and I wanted to avoid conflict, which is not okay. Like, you shouldn't be doing anything that you really don't want to do. I feel like it disrupts you mentally. It led me to feel overwhelmed and unfulfilled in those relationships because in the end, those relationships were one-sided. I always felt like I was giving with no purpose. I was looking for something in return. I would do something for a person, whether it was giving them a ride or going to an event that I didn't want to go to, I was uncomfortable with, or just having certain interactions with people. I was doing it with no purpose. Like, it wasn't genuine. This resulted in me always feeling like what I did was never good enough. I didn't feel appreciated when all the while I was overextending myself for people who never needed my help, nor asked for it. A lot of times I found myself just volunteering my services for people, trying to be nice just to get people to like me because of my childhood trauma. Like, I felt rejected when my parents didn't raise me. I was raised by a relative, and that left me feeling like nobody wanted me. Even the person that I was living with, I felt like she didn't want me. She only did it because she was a relative and she felt obligated to do it. And that's the thing with people pleasing. You're not obligated to do anything. You always have a choice. And I put myself in situations where it was like I didn't have a choice. Well, mentally, I would do that to myself. Like, I would allow people to make me feel like I didn't have a choice. And I never spoke up, but I would internally have these feelings about these people and never say, like, no, this is something that I don't want to do. I would do it and then talk crap about it. I would do it and go home and then feel like, okay, now I can be my real self, not knowing that this would later put a strain on my relationships with these people because I never spoke up for myself. And that's the thing with being a giver. Being a giver, you have to know your limits because takers, they don't have any. And that's something that I had to learn. I feel like during this time when I was being a people pleaser, it created a false sense of acceptance within the relationship because I was pretending to be something that I wasn't. I felt like I needed to save everyone and I forgot about myself in the process. I will always go out of my way for certain people. I would show up to events even when I didn't want to, even when I could be exhausted. I could have been an emotional wreck. I would let my fear of what people thought of me control me. I would think that, oh, if I don't do this, they're gonna feel a way about me and we're not gonna be friends anymore, or I don't want them to be mad at me. I was so consumed with like other people's feelings about me instead of my own. And in return, nobody showed up for me. The people that I thought were my friends, that I thought would have been there for me, they weren't. I was attracting the wrong people. Those were not genuine relationships. After years of going through this vicious cycle, I wanted it to stop, because it's just like a constant, like, I'm giving, I'm not getting anything in return. I didn't understand why until I started going to therapy. And therapy was the best thing that could have happened to me. You might say, why therapy? I don't need therapy. There's nothing wrong with being nice. There's nothing wrong with doing things for people, X, Y, and Z. There's something wrong with being too nice. And when I say too nice, it's like you don't know your limit and you're giving until you feel overwhelmed. Then there's a problem. You should only be giving when you genuinely want to give. You should only be giving your time or spending time with people when you want to. If you don't feel like doing something that day, don't. If you want to be by yourself, it's okay, be by yourself. If you don't feel like talking on the phone, ignore that call. That is a part of self-care and learning how to just be yourself. Everybody is not for you. It's okay. And I feel like therapy helped me see that. Therapy taught me and is teaching me how to be sure of myself, how to make more sound decisions when it comes to the relationships that I have with people. And it sometimes takes someone outside of yourself to get you to see the bigger picture. I needed that. During my time in therapy, I was able to gain a sense of self. I learned to question people and situations that challenged me and my morale as a person. If it made me feel bad, I would question myself, like, why am I doing this? Do I really want to do this? I learned that it was okay to be myself. And most importantly, I learned how to say no. And you can too. Here are 5 steps. Step number 1. Realize you have a choice, because you do. People pleasers always feel like they have to say yes. Remember, there is nothing wrong with saying no. Absolutely nothing. You have that right. If it's something that you don't feel comfortable with, if it makes you feel like you're going outside of yourself, say no. Number 2, say no with conviction. When you don't want to do something, don't allow people to push you around. That was my biggest problem. I would allow people to coerce me into saying yes, manipulate me, guilt trip me. Do not allow people to guilt trip you into saying yes. You're saying no for a reason, for a good reason. And your peace of mind is above all. Only you have control over yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't let outside opinions or people to push you into doing things that you're not okay with. Number 3, don't give them any excuses. And by excuses, I mean don't explain yourself to people. Don't feel like you have to explain your reasoning into why you said no. Only you need to know why you said no. And that's it. Leave it at that. You shouldn't have to defend yourself. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. Trust yourself and trust that you are making the right decision. And that is something else that is so powerful to me. Like trusting yourself, learning how to trust your thoughts, and knowing that you're making the right decision, not asking people for their opinions, knowing that I can do this. Number 4, accept that you can't please everyone. Not everybody is going to like you. Not everybody is going to congratulate you or give you a pat on the back. You need to stop seeking validation from others. Remember, the only approval you need is the one from none other than yourself. Find it within. Be okay with you. Be okay with the decisions that you make. Number 5, remind yourself that each relationship you have with a person is supposed to be mutual. Having healthy relationships are so important. If you feel like you're always going with the flow, like you're always getting the short end of the stick, or you're always showing up and this person is never coming around for you, 9 times out of 10, it's true. And if you feel that way, speak up. Speak up. Speak your truth. Go to them and let them know how you feel, and be direct. Do not cut corners with them. Let them know, hey, I feel like this is a one-sided relationship. I'm always here for X, Y, and Z, and it's not being reciprocated. Come up with the solution. Don't be the person that always complains behind closed doors and can never render a solution. Stick up for yourself. Just say no. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. Your peace is above all. Using these 5 tips helped me tremendously. In my personal life, I feel that I was able to make a lot more definite decisions. I feel as though I became more self-aware, and I was able to regain my voice. Overall, I feel like it made me a better person. The advice that I'm giving will help you grow as well. Remember that I am not an expert. I'm learning just like you. Always put yourself first. You are only human. See you in the next video.